I mentioned Serabit el Khadim, where those ancient inscriptions were found. This is one of those, and here we have the letter. What's that? What letter is that? Aleph. Aleph. Very good. And that one, what's that? What does that word spell? What is Av? Abba is the Aramaic form for father. In Hebrew, it's Av, Aleph, Bet, Av. In Aramaic, it becomes Abba. So we have Aleph and the Beit. Put that together. Now, the Aleph is a picture of an ox head. It means strength. Makes sense? The Bet is a picture of a house. You put that together and you have the strength of the house. That is the father. The father. This is the way that the Hebrew language worked. And you can do this with many of the Hebrew words and actually see these pictures telling you what this word means, the strength of the house. Here we have again, or here we have the letter Mem. It's kind of hard to see here. It's a squiggly line. It's letter Mem. Then again we have the Aleph. And then we have the Lamed. What is the word El? What's El mean? Anybody?
Strong leader.
Strong leader. Okay. How is that usually translated in the English Bibles? God. Okay. But Hebrew, yeah. It's the origin of the word Elohim. Elohim. The first two letters of Elohim are Aleph, Lamed. Elohim is derived out of the word El. But it literally means strength, authority, God. Okay, the Aleph has the ox with the horns, right? The horns are a picture of strength. The Lamed is the shepherd's staff, and that's a picture of authority. What is a crown? What is a crown? Anybody? Picture of kingship? Picture of kingship. A king will wear a crown. They usually have those little points on them, right? Well, in the ancient times, they made crowns out of, guess what? Horns. The Hebrew word for a horn is keren, which is the origin of our word crown. Okay? So the crown is a picture of strength, kingship. The staff is a picture of authority. What does a king also carry? He has the crown. What does he carry? A scepter, which is a picture of a staff. Because in the ancient days, the kings wore horns and carried a staff. The strong authority. This is a inscription from Egypt that's dated to 2000 BC. We're talking 4,000 years ago. And it's in the pictographic script. There it's a little highlighted so you can read it. Okay, somebody read that for me. Okay, the first word is Rav. Rav, and that means many. Kum, rise. I'm sorry, what? Somebody say something? Okay, there's a hay. You can see the hay, the arms out. Okay, that is the word hahug, or vahug, excuse me, it's a noon here. This is the vav. This is the vav. Vahug, which means and moan. Then we have the word maha'af, ma meaning from, ha meaning the, af is the word for anger, from the anger. And then we have me'ir, which is from the city. So this is my translation of this inscription. I could be wrong, but this is how I'm translating it. Many rise and moan from the anger from the city.
Is that the Goths?
That is the Gaian. Okay. How many letters are there in the Hebrew alphabet?
23.
Very good. Okay. Most people will say 22, right? Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, all the way up to Tav. There's 22. But there's evidence that in ancient times there were more letters than 22. In fact, there was probably up to 28 letters in the original Hebrew alphabet. Yes?
Psalm 119 kind of shows there's like certain...
Psalms, what yours?
119 where it's an acrostic.
Right.
Lists all the Hebrew letters.
Showing only 22 letters.
Yeah.
Right. There's many acrostics in the Psalms. An acrostic is like, in English I would say, apples are tasty, berries are blue, cherries are, okay, A, B, C. That's an acrostic. Well, in Hebrew, yeah.
Another point, I noticed that wahud, that would indicate this, the wav is being used as a vowel.
Yes.
They claim the modern was not ancient.
Right.
That's right.
But really, you can see it is.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What he's referring to is that in the Hebrew Bible that we use today, they'll use dots and dashes for the vowel pointing. So like the O sound is just a dot. Like Moshe is spelled with just a dot. There's just a dot up there. And they say that well, the Jews believe that was actually in the original, the dots and the dashes. But the Dead Sea Scrolls spell with a vav. For example, Yaakov. Or let's take Elohim. Many of us are probably familiar with the word Elohim. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem. Aleph, Lamed is El. Then the H, Yod, Mem is Him. Elohim. Where did the O come from? Elohim. Well, there's a dot there in the Masoretic text that represents the O sound. But if you go to the Dead Sea Scrolls, guess what? It's spelled Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Hey, Yod, Mem. There's a Vav there. But it's not. It's in the Dead Sea Scrolls, but it's not in the Masoretic text. Why? My first thought is the Masoretes took them out and replaced them with a dot. That's probably not correct, but I don't know. Nobody knows. But the Vav, in even 4,000 years ago, is being used as a vowel. That's basically what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, modern yes.
Right, yeah. Okay, the word ear, we're going to take a look at that. Oh, I was talking about the different letters. This letter right here does not exist in the modern Hebrew alphabet. Now, what he was talking about, the acrostic psalms, there's several psalms that are acrostics. There are 22 verses. The first verse begins with Aleph. The second verse begins with Bet, Gimel, Dalet, all the way down the line. Psalms 119 has, 10 verses that begin with Aleph and then 10 with Bet? Is it 10? Or 12? I don't remember. But that's why there's so many, there's 100 and some odd verses in Psalm 119. How many? 8. Oh, 8. Oh, I was wrong all over the place. Okay, there's 8 verses that begin with the letter Aleph, then 8 verses that begin with the letter Bet, so on and so on. So we know that when the Bible was penned, there were only 22 letters. No argument there. What I'm saying is even before that, long before the Bible was written, there were more than 22, and this is the 23rd letter, Gaian, what I call the Gaian. And I call it that because Arabic has the Gaian. Arabic has 20, I don't know, is it 23 or 24? I think it's 24 letters in the Arabic alphabet. And they have the same alphabet as Hebrew. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin. The letter Ayin in the ancient pictograph is a picture of an eye. And they have that in Arabic. And then there's the letter Gaian. So you have Ayin and Gaian. And this is the letter Gaian in the ancient Hebrew. But at some point before the Bible was written, the letter Gaian was shifted over and added to the letter Ayin. Did that make sense what I just said? Any word that had the letter Gaian in it, they changed it, just made it with an Ayin. So the Ayin represented 2 letters, the Ayin and the Gaian. And we know this because of the Greek Septuagint. The word, the names, Baal, well, usually people pronounce it Baal, B-A-A-L. Okay, they'll say Baal. It's actually pronounced Baal. That pause there between the 2 A's is the letter Ayin, and the Ayin is silent. It has no sound. So it's Baal, and that Ayin is silent. In the Septuagint, that word Baal is transliterated into Greek as Baal. Take another name like Pegor. You've heard of the name, or Gomorrah, as in Sodom and Gomorrah. Gomorrah, Pegor. That G in there is the letter Ayin in Hebrew, but it's taking a G sound. So from this, we can conclude that the Ayin was 1 letter but represented 2 sounds. One was silent and one was a G sound. So there's 22 letters in the modern Hebrew, but prior to that there were more. And one of those was the Gaian. So let's take a look at this last word here, ear, which is the word for city. Spelled with a Gaian and a Resh. The Gaian is a picture of a rope. Okay, you know how the rope is twisted? They twist the fibers on each other to bind them. And the more fibers you put in, the stronger the rope is, right? Okay, that's what that is. It's a twisted rope. And then we have the resh. What's the resh? The head of a man. So what this is rope, head, and it means a twisted man. And that is the word for a city. Now, if you look at all of the Hebrew words that were spelled with a Gaian, okay, you'll find that they all deal with something negative. Darkness, clouds, storm, twistedness. All of them have deal with this idea of being twisted or dark or chaotic. So a twisted man. In the Hebrew language, the word for a city has very negative connotations. Why did God take Abraham out of Ur, the city, and brought him to where?
Wilderness.
The wilderness. God took the Israelites out of Egypt, the city, and brought them where?
Wilderness.
To the wilderness. The word for wilderness is the midbar. Midbar. Its root is dar. Dalet resh. That's the root of midbar. Now, dalet is a picture of a what?
Door.
A door. And the resh is a picture of a man. This is and a door represents to be open. Open man. So there's a contrast between the city and the wilderness. I always wondered, why did God keep taking him out to the wilderness? Because that's where there is order. Order is in the wilderness. Chaos is in the cities. How many of you here live in the city? In a city. What's the population of the city?
Which are around big, very big. I don't know, I'd say about several hundred thousand.
Several hundred thousand. Okay, do you love living in the city?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. How many of you people love living in the city? I mean, there's people that do. I'm not going to argue that. I know people who love living in the city. But how many people in the city, when they have a vacation, go camping? Do you go camping? No? No? Okay, well, a lot of people go camping. Why? Because it's peace and quiet. There's order there. Harmony. Nature is harmony in action. It's a balance of everything in nature. So this is to give you a demonstration of how important it is to look at excuse me, the ancient Hebrew letters to get an understanding of what these words mean.